Hello and welcome to the Carbitrage Podcast, episode 296. I am Eric Berger, joined as always by my co-host Ryan Sinensky.
Hello.
And Jenna. Hello.
Hi.
I'm drinking hams. You're
Very
not
nice.
drinking anything.
I'm not
Like
drinking
I said on the last episode, I'm not really with it today, so I'm taking a brief reprieve from liquids that aren't water.
Oh, Dan sent me a Dustin Williams video, that YouTuber man that comes to Battle Creek from time to time. He's a very famous YouTuber, apparently. He's got millions and millions of followers.
I see. I've not heard of him.
Oh, he when he came here last year, he filled up Battle Creek so much that there was traffic backed up on the 94.
Oh.
Yeah, because he had told people ahead of time. This time he just showed up and told people as he's on his way.
Did he also go back to Battle Creek, or was it somewhere else?
Yeah, for Hot Sauce Tuesday.
Sorry.
And it was when it was like 100 degrees outside with like 90% humidity. And so I
Yep.
brought everybody some Montucky cold snacks. And I gave him one because I wanted to make sure he wasn't, dehydrated. And it actually made it on his little YouTube video he did about having his cartoon for Kyle at MAP. And I'm like, hey, that's me giving him a Montucky cold snack. And then there was
recognize
Montucky.
that can anywhere.
There was Montucky cold snack on his camera lens for like the rest of the video.
Amazing.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because I love Montucky cold snacks.
It is a fabulously named beer, and it's actually quite
It's
good.
actually a really good
actually
beer.
quite good.
Like,
I
Much
just
better
love
than the
that
Bud
it's
Light.
called Montucky Cold Snack, and it's from Wisconsin.
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
the more you read into it, is
Yeah,
like,
It's
it's
so good.
It's the official, unofficial beer of Montana, made in Wisconsin.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Love
really
it.
good.
This
It's
is the
so
official car of
American.
Britain made in Germany.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Or official car of Italy made in,
Made-
hopefully not Italy.
Yeah, no, it's the official car of Italy made in like Mumbai. Yeah. That's what it is. Like, very funny. Anyway,
Before the first topic, let me get right into Patreon and do the little plug. Patreon.com/Carbitrage. On the super custom handcrafted page, you'll find 3 open-ended levels
Starting
of support.
at $1.
Starting at just $1. Anything above that is also totally fine. Just helps us buy beer, helps us pay hosting costs, and that's about it. So if you want to head over there, please do. If not, that's all right. Topic
Continue
numero uno. All right, so, man, again, I genuinely like these days going through day of to find topics. If there's something that really strikes my fancy, between episodes I'll come in and I'll add it. But the reasoning behind that is I have a much more fresh reaction to something I see. And today, it was the word Restomod. I really don't like the word Restomod. And
it's a terrible term.
it is. And when I say Restomod, if you didn't have what's on the screen in front of you, what's the first, car? Just give me a word back. Restomod.
Firebird.
There you go. For me, Camaro.
Yeah.
I just
Transmarrow bird.
yeah, Transmarrow bird. You got C4 suspension under there. You got a small block.
You've got
VFI.
20-inch wheels.
Yeah.
Some American car that came from a trailer park.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The 20
With
you have 20-inch
newer-
wheels with gigantic wheelwood disc brakes that are not correctly proportioned. They're not balanced. It has multi-link suspension. It has that Charger that I wrote at Bring a Trailer a while back that had just everything underneath it was from a Viper. That's a Restomod.
I don't know if I remember that. That sounds kind of interesting.
They
Can be interesting cars. I don't like the word.
I hate the word and I don't like the concept of it because this is the thing. Bless the guy that made that Charger. He did that and he made the thing that he really wanted to.
Well, and it's still on Mopar underneath, so I get it.
But this is the thing is that I genuinely love both of those cars for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
You put them together.
And you've made the car that was the donor.
I now have the things that I dislike from both of them in the same car. I've got the interior of the Viper, and I have the weight distribution. I have the aerodynamics of the Charger and the weight distribution of the Charger. It's just
And it can work if it's very deliberate. Don't get me wrong. However, usually, you LS swap a car, you've just turned the car into a Corvette. That's all you've done.
I've never, ever in my life seen a Restomod that makes a car better. It does not exist. It's not same things with the Pro-Am cars or people try to make which is the next level beyond Restomod.
Okay.
It's Pro-Am where that Camaro where the guy has the crazy headers, the white one that was at SEMA that.
Oh, yeah.
Cool, but I don't care.
Right.
Like,
I'm
that's
like, it's technically impressive what you can do with fabrication, but
I'm also somebody that I'm extremely traditional in what I like with my vehicles. Like, I like a lot of different cars for a lot of different reasons. Like, I like Eliminator era hot rods as much as I like, old school gouge, like pre-war gouge jobs. I like big body kit Hondas. I also like, 2000s era JDM Hondas. I don't like when you try to take something that is of an era and bring it into another era. Like, no, stop it. That exists in that era for a reason.
the only Restomods I really like are the ones where you get in the car and you have no idea that it's been touched.
Yeah.
Because there's a company that does nothing but Lancia Deltas in Holland. And you get in there and it has like a Cyvex computer in it in a factory case, but they've programmed it to be bad, just like the old Motronic.
Perfect.
Yeah, and like it's the same engine, it's the same gearbox, but it's all been like all the shit that
That's not even,
fails.
like, Restomodded,
It
though.
is because it's all modern crap in there to make it better, but it's maintaining all of its quirks. I don't want to get rid of the quirks of a car, which is what Restomodding does.
That's what Restomodding is. So I think what you're looking for is updating or mildly modifying. Like, because Restomodding is such a cursed, like...
That's why I hate the word.
Well, the concept, like, it's more than just the word. It's the entire concept behind it that I hate.
Sure.
And the concept behind it is, I'm going to make old car better because I know better than what
engineers,
people have
right?
been doing for the last 100 years on this car. Like, no, you don't, dude. Like, why do you like Oldsmobile Rocket powered Model A? You like Oldsmobile Rocket powered Model A because you like the 60s aesthetic. You like everything about the 60s. So why would you ever ruin that by putting Holley EFI on that? Why would you take a big body kit Honda and like channeling the body kit like an inch so the body kit isn't as big? Like, no, you don't do that. Like, you have stupid LJ Garcia Civic because you have stupid LJ Garcia Civic.
You just really want that Civic, don't you?
I do. But, like, no, my thing is, like, there's a whole history about why a certain thing has been done a certain way.
And sometimes it is a technological limitation
But
that
like,
actually makes the car like unusable.
so your uncle had that really wild custom Corvair
Yes.
thing that he made.
Well, my grandfather made that.
Your
Yeah,
grandfather,
the
yes.
Futura.
Yeah, the Futura. So, all right, let's say somebody takes the Futura and they're like, you know what? I really don't like the swinging axles in the Corvair. I'm going to go ahead and put Cavalier suspension in it. You could see how that'd be weird, right? Because, like, the whole point of that is, like, no, it's a Corvair. Like, the heart and soul of a Corvair is how bad it is.
And it is bad.
It is terrible. Like, there's
Watching-
like, let's take the tiller, let's take the steering wheel that's driven by a bicycle chain, and get rid of that and do drive-by-wire steering.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can see how. Okay, yeah, this is technically better, but you're completely betraying the soul of the vehicle. Or let's
And Carini didn't do too much.
no,
to get rid
no.
of that either.
Wayne
which was
Carini
nice.
did a wonderful job of making it usable. And there's a difference between making it usable and ruining it. Like,
Right.
there's a reason that you put an electric fuel pump onto pre-war cars, because literally you're going to damage the vehicle.
Are you saying mechanical diaphragm pumps are not terribly reliable from that
Shocking.
period?
But no, like it's just one of those things where it's like these cars, you'd have to like crank them so much, and there'd be so much gas going into the engine because you weren't able to have the correct pressure for it to actually atomize,
Right.
that it actually washes the cylinder liners and gets gas in the oil.
Excellent.
Like, that's bad for the car. Like,
Yeah, fuel is not a lubricant. Unless you
no,
have a
it's
decent-
not. And so like there's some modifications you can do to make it better, but then you can also totally betray the car. See, this is like what we're seeing here on the screen here, this 928. This isn't Restomodded, this is just modified. This is just like aesthetically appealing modifications.
Yeah, but under the hood, I mean, this has got updated injection. It's got bigger modern brakes. I
Yeah.
mean, that is...
It's not Restomodded, it's just modified.
Well, no, but it's using parts from a newer Porsche.
Yeah.
I mean, that's technically Restomodding. But again, this
Yes.
comes back to the
The-
word has been so sullied
Yeah.
by the overhauling era that I don't want it seen anymore.
Yeah, and I think
I want a boutique-built modified.
the term Restomodding, like I said, it's more than just a word. There's an entire thought pattern behind it.
Yeah.
So this has, okay, so they just made the car a little bit lighter, and they modified the engine. They put coilovers on it, and
I think they
ABS,
did.
and traction control.
And they made the factory-style wheels 1 inch bigger, I think.
Okay.
That kind of thing I still like.
That's not, that's just modifying. Though.
Right. Because that's not
That's
really
tasteful
done.
modifications.
Right, because that's not done with factory parts.
Because Restomodding is like, we're going to restore this, but we're also going to modify it to improve it because we know better.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
no,
part
this is just
suspension
making
changes.
some little updates. Like, it's a complete, like I said, it's
It's like somebody completely restoring a Bel Air and putting in a modern radio.
Oh.
yeah, and like not like a retro sounds radio.
No, like a C6 Corvette radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what a Restomod is it's
Or putting in Pontiac seats in your Chevy.
yeah, exactly. Like putting like Pontiac Grand Prix seats into like
That's
in
Restomodding.
48 like Chevy Fleetline. Like
Think-
that's
Think foot-shaped gas pedals.
no, hang on. Now wait a minute. You're losing me there because foot-shaped gas pedals are actually an of-air modification.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But I'm saying
on the Fiat, let me tell
So
you,
loud.
the Fiat would benefit from a foot-shaped gas pedal
No,
because
I'm
I actually, the size of the gas pedal on my Fiat, I have one pair of shoes I can comfortably drive it
It's
in.
Italian.
Because otherwise, the side of my foot goes over the pedal and I actually get a Charlie horse if I drive it for too long.
It's like me and the knee in the Model
But,
S.
like,
yeah.
it's
the
not-
ergonomics are not perfect.
Yeah.
like I'm not saying
Bread van.
in itself the foot-shaped gas
Yeah, so like
pedal
Amos.
is a resto mod. I'm saying you look into a car and you see the foot shape, and most likely you're gonna find really weird resto modding.
Probably, yeah. Because the same person that owns a car that is very likely to be resto modded
Yeah.
is where those were installed.
Amos, they get to the point of that is a Restomod.
Yes.
Because-
yes. Yeah. This is
Yeah.
not the company in Holland that makes you can't tell.
Yeah, no, this is actually modifying it thinking that you know better.
Right.
Like, yeah, this is like
Is it
cool
faster?
now.
Sure. Mhm.
It's cool
But-
now, but this is not going to age as well.
No.
Like,
Because it isn't the car that won the Group B rallies.
no, it's trying to be. It's somebody's now modified just a normal one.
And here's
That's terrible.
it's really bad. And they
This
put,
is a perfect example of everything that's wrong with Restomodding.
and they used an M30, a turbo M30. The engine weighs as much as a moon. It has terrible turbo lag. This is a horrible idea.
Why?
E30 M3 with a big 6 in it with a turbo. It's so stupid. And again, like this Diablo, it's not factory parts. It isn't a resto mod. This is just a boutique modified vehicle.
Yeah, this is different than.
It is different.
But
But these are all lumped in to the resto modded category, and I stop it. It's like saying stage 2 mods. Like
Yeah,
these
well-
terminologies, they're not relevant anymore.
well, no, I still think like again, Restomod is more than just the term.
Yeah.
It's a thought pattern behind what you're doing. It is an entire theory of I like this car, but I'm going to change everything about it to make it completely different.
See, I don't like the car.
So you're saying that you just actually don't like it. And it's like, when you get these cars and it's like a Ferrari or a Lancia where you just make some updates, you're still keeping with the actual like soul of the car. You're
Right.
not changing it entirely. You're not putting Pontiac interior into a 40s Chevy with a LS engine and Mustang 2 front independent suspension and then a multi-link setup out of like a Jaguar. Like that's you're completely betraying everything that this car is supposed to be because what you want is you actually want a Jaguar Mark 6, but you haven't thought that far ahead to go, maybe the car I actually want exists.
Or when those people do the mods and they realize it sucks now, then they get to sell off their bastardized vehicle.
And that's actually a huge problem because now these are like you cannot reverse these modifications when that like with the term Restomod.
Right.
Like you are completely changing everything about the car.
Yeah, it's
and
usually hard points.
yeah, and you now have a car where it's like the only person that's going to like this car is exactly you. Like this is not a Restomod.
Correct. This is just updating.
Yeah.
Like, this is the Delta company. Okay. You get in it, and they've just brought the car back to what it was.
I want to see his Panda below. That's good.
Look at how sturdy he is.
But that's not at all a Restomod.
No.
Because as a Restomod, it'd be like a Subaru,
This is
basically.
just a restored car. And
Yeah.
anything that
A
was
lightly
broken
modified-
originally, maybe.
Yeah. Like, so Brain Trailer actually doesn't let people use the term Restomod.
Good.
And the reason is that the term is so many connotations to it that it actually negatively affects sales, because everybody goes, oh, Restomod. Let's think of a
Yeah, I'm not even gonna
69
click into
Firebird.
that. Yeah.
69 Firebird with
Nice.
independent suspension out of a 97 Firebird, and then they kept the Pontiac 400, but they put it like Holley fuel injection on like dual 4 barrels, and now it just runs weird at all times. It's never gonna be right. It's got Willwood brakes all the way through. It's got custom dashboard.
There might be bear brakes.
Yeah, it's got custom dashboard. It's got some like American Racing 19-inch wheels that will never ever balance correctly. It's got like Ironman iMove tires.
Oh, God.
It just sucks. Like, that's what people think of when they hear the term Restomod.
Yeah.
And rightfully so, because that's what a Restomod is.
And the fact that this was published by Haggerty,
Yeah, that's kind of mind-blowing.
I don't get it. I don't get it. But stop.
Yeah, that's... Anyway, I want to talk about a minivan.
Okay.
So, they call it an SUV, but that's not an SUV, that's a minivan.
Correct.
That's a square minivan.
Yep.
Because if you scroll down,
Oh, it is
scroll
a
down
cute
some more.
square minivan.
Scroll on some more. Scroll on some more. Keep going. Keep going.
This looks like a...
Do they have a picture of the rear doors open? Keep going.
Well, you can open them both ways, right? Yeah,
There it is.
yeah.
That's a minivan. That's a square minivan. I'm fine with
Good.
that.
I
I don't
like
know
Gets
why
people to
that.
buy
I don't
vans.
know why there's a typo,
Yeah.
but that's definitely a minivan if I've ever
Century
seen one.
minivan.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, 100%. They're $136,000. Very good deal.
I mean, it looks like a way better executed attempt at a Cullinan.
So funny thing, Toyota is trying to eat Rolls-Royce's lunch with the Cullinan, and
Good.
yeah, they're going to, because that's a Cullinan but better.
So do you know this? I looked past this vehicle today when I was looking up topics, but I didn't feature it myself. I saw that there was the option of either opening the door minivan style or SUV style. Is that a different optioned door, or is that the same door, which is bimodal?
I didn't care
Okay.
that much.
Because I see
Not gonna lie,
this one.
because what it's powered by is a 3.5 liter V6 with a plug-in hybrid system as well, making 406 horsepower. That's great. Now,
Can we
historically,
talk about the 2GR for a second?
can we talk about how every single Century has had just the greatest engine?
The 2GR has been around since 2007, completely unchanged,
Yep.
and it's still fantastic.
Yeah, no, they've been kicking the shit out of everybody. Like, yeah, the 2GR is great. I cannot get enough of that engine.
It's port injected, it's direct injection, it's Atkinson hybrid ready. Like, there's 3 basic variants.
Yeah,
They're all
great.
good.
They're all great. Like, there's nothing wrong with the 2GR.
2GR is a great engine.
But yes,
People are like, oh, V6 isn't upscale enough. I'm like, shut up.
I mean, they have a point. It is only songs. Like, if somebody made this with a 12-cylinder, the 12-cylinder would be a lot cooler.
Can you imagine a Toyota V12 derived from 2GRs?
That would be unbelievable. Because the
Amazing.
Toyota V12 derived from a 1JZ.
It's kind of say the 1GZ, I believe, is that engine.
Yeah, 1JZ was incredible. Well, I was going to say 1UZ. I'm like, wait, what? That'd be a 16.
So we're going to get
Also-
a 2G... No. Yeah. 2GZ?
A, B, C, D,
FX.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. What is the 14th letter of the alphabet?
Oh, I don't know. Alexa, what is the 14th letter of the alphabet?
N. A 1NZ.
Ah. Or we could do 2NZ. Because the first one might fail.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Or a
No,
big
it'd be a
displacement.
1NZ because the first one is the first iteration of it.
Okay.
So it'd be a 1NZ.
One
Would be
NZ.
a 12-cylinder out of a GZ. That'd be great. That'd
So,
be very cool. That'd be incredible
Toyota,
in a
throw
minivan.
a 1NZ in there.
Yeah, this is a good minivan. I'm here for it. I'm not mad about this at all. Because I live in the worst timeline where I just am accepting that. Oh, scroll down a moment here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, so they are two different doors.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So the sliding door is the one you want.
Yes. Don't order the SUV doors. Screw
Yeah.
that.
No. But I mean, both.
Sliding door is so much more Japanese.
Yeah. No, it looks so much cooler. Yeah, this is tight as hell. I'm not mad about this. Like, I don't know. It's the Century has never been sporty. It is the peak of luxury. That's what it is.
I love that they still have like a modern version of the exact same wheel. That's
Yeah.
always been on the Century.
Like this, like an SUV makes sense for this. So
Minivan.
I'm here for it. Yeah, sorry, a minivan
Thank
makes
you.
sense for this.
You kept reading the incorrect
I'm
word
sorry.
too much.
But yeah, no, a minivan makes sense for this. This should be a minivan. I can't get enough of this. This setup is absolutely gorgeous. This is the most Japanese setup I've ever seen. God, what a great vehicle.
Look at this.
There's nothing wrong with this. I'm fine with this minivan.
There's a stand right there with the sliding door on it.
Yeah, because look at this.
Outside of the minivan.
Yeah, you can just have the sliding door. Great.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Japan.
That's what I want. Thank you. You've made a vehicle.
I want to see all the engineering that came into that sliding door.
There's probably, yeah.
I want to
There's
see all of it.
every single thing on these cars have historically been understated, and it is literally the peak of Toyota doing Toyota.
I love that these are all right-hand drive photos too.
Because they only make them right-hand drive.
Oh, we're not getting this?
I don't think so. Or
Oh,
if we
okay.
do, it's going to be right-hand drive. Toyota takes the Century really fucking seriously. They don't mess around with the Century. So they are.
Oh, there's no foot pass through in the seats.
They had the GRMN Century.
Yeah.
They made 2 of those.
Oh yeah.
That's
So
it.
good.
They don't mess. You can't They don't mass produce these.
Right.
So
Oh, it's bespoke for sure.
yeah. Oh, it's raining.
Good, I think.
Yes, that's
Did
a good
I leave
thing.
anything open? I don't think I did.
We'll find out.
No, we're good.
But yeah, no, this is
Oh, look at that. Look at this table full of Century items.
this is good.
Oh, man.
I like that the logo is hand carved.
Is it actually?
Yes.
It's very nice. That's scribe work.
Yeah, they hand.
Look at the hammers.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, they're very cool. Centuries they're incredible vehicles. So I'm not mad about that.
The Japanese Rolls Royce. Love it.
Cool. All right.
Wow.
Anyway,
cool.
moving
All right.
on.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Oh boy. Unfortunately, I got the note screen on the broadcast screen, so you have to bear with me a moment. What am I doing? Oh, cool. Radial flux. Talk about engineering.
Yes.
Very good. So, more expensive things on tables that you don't see in the vehicle, like the Century with the scribed logo.
Yes.
I want to talk about axial flux motors. Yeah, I know. Me too. So anyway, the only time we've actually seen these in production so far.
A radial flux and an axial flux? For those who may not know.
Basically, the motors we currently have in use for brushless appliances, cars, tools, everything are axial flux.
What's the difference?
They're radial. Sorry, they're radial flux.
Radial
Hold
flux?
on.
What's
Hold
the
on.
flux?
The flux is the change in magnetism in the windings of the motor.
Okay, thank
So-
you. Yes, that would be radial. Yeah,
All right.
because it goes around. Yeah, because when we do radial,
Yeah.
it is
Yes,
you take the radius
correct.
and you cut it in corners. Yes. Anyway,
So radial is what we
So
currently
what's
use.
axial then?
Axial allows motors.
is that front to back then?
It side to side. So
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't change around the armature. It actually changes in segments that are stacked side by side around the armature. So the magnetic field, I read the entire goddamn thing and I'm still probably screwing it up, but essentially they're stacked triangular magnets between multiple rotors in the armature.
Okay.
And they can make the motors extraordinarily
Small.
narrow because
Yeah.
of that.
No, I see that now.
Because
Okay.
it's not very good at high speed motion, but it's really, really good at delivering accurate gobs of torque in a very, very small, lightweight format. We've seen these in the Regera.
Okay.
There's currently only one company that really mass markets
should
these
be.
things, and they're extraordinarily expensive to make. So we may see these in cheaper, smaller, lighter EVs in the future. They are very efficient, so there's really not much downside other than the fact that they're not amazing at delivering high torque at high rotor RPM, but
That's fascinating.
it's
That's really
cool. The more I dug into it, I'm like, God, screw your ads.
Okay.
It's cool.
No, that
man.
makes sense.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can see the segmented
Yep.
magnet wafers and how it's just all sandwiched.
That's really cool.
Yeah, dude, it's wild.
Okay, I see how that would work now.
It's wild, but they're tiny.
Okay, so when you have these little segments, so imagine like the pucks on a clutch. Like if you have like a 6-puck clutch, and this is for our listeners as well.
It looks like a wet clutch.
What the segments look like are like the individual pucks. And so say you have your 6 pucks, 3 of those would be positive, 3 of those would be negative. And so that will cause the actual rotor in the center.
They're electromagnets, so they will reverse charge. But yes.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is, at one moment, 3 will be positive, 3 will be negative, and that will force the actual rotor in the center to move one direction, the direction towards what is positive. And then you would turn off the positive, or you would switch the positives and the negatives after it goes past top dead center, basically. Yeah, after it goes like past what would be like top dead center, which is like once it hits that like kind of like the apex of going across the next one, and then it'll pull the actual rotor to the next part.
Yeah,
so
how this handles dwell that's exactly what Ryan just said.
Yeah, and so that's actually really interesting because historically what we've done, I guess how they would make this is you now have just more powerful magnets in the radius.
They're flatter magnets, which is why it's really, really expensive, because to get a magnet that's flat that still has the same force as a traditional motor, it's extremely hard to produce. But yeah, the fact that you can have your magnet instead of being a long, basically cylindrical or rectangular item.
The way you do is you take a whole shitload of copper, a wire, and you'd spool it up, and that's why. Like if you imagine the inside of like a starter motor, that's exactly what your normal radial flux motor is.
And winding it around is super easy, but getting it consistently flat, really tough.
And then when you have it consistently flat, that's really cool.
It is really neat.
So this basically takes what is just a super huge, heavy, long-ass motor and cuts it down to like literally a tenth of how thick it would be.
Yeah, it's like smushing a regular motor in a press.
That's really
cool.
Until
it's, half the length or even less here. But that's, I believe, where the packaging issues are coming from right now is it's just really, really hard to get electromagnets produced in that shape.
That's really cool.
But it's
just about the coolest thing I've seen all day. I love that. That's really
talk
rad.
About innovation, ba-bam, right there. So
I want to talk about another cool.
How do they work?
I want to talk about another cool innovation, and I want to talk about a 50-year-old moped.
I just realized I didn't have the screen cap on that whole time. Whoops.
Oh, shit.
That's all right. We described it for people.
Yep,
all right.
that's fine.
I saw that too. Let's look at it.
All right.
Let's
look
now
at
the
this.
capture is on.
There we go. I want to talk about a 50-year-old moped.
Calling that a moped is ambitious, but
it
for
is
classic
a moped.
rules, it is a moped.
No, because it does have pedals and a motor.
I get you.
So it gets started by pushing the pedals, and then the motor speeds up.
So tell me more about the specs.
This is a very unique moped because this guy found a class in Bonneville that pretty much was neglected. And so in his home, he could just go ahead and make a land speed record this. So for reference...
Was there an existing record?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
So for reference, the fastest car this year, I guess, was called the Speed Demon at Bonneville, and it went 333 miles per hour.
It's a nice, easy to remember number.
Yeah, exactly. So that's like the big boy car. The Solex was a front-wheel drive moped.
Oh, what?
That sounds so freaking French.
Yeah, so it's great. It's the pedals take the rear. Once you're at speed, you turn on the magneto. You can start the engine
It's
for
just
the
a bike
yeah.
with a motor.
Yep.
That's what Mouse sells.
This is literally what Mouse sells, except his are rear-wheel drive.
It's a Velo Solex, later shortened to Solex.
So it had a 49cc single-cylinder 2-cycle engine.
That's a big engine for a moped, isn't it?
Nope, that's...
I thought there were like 25cc.
You can go
normally.
up to 50cc before you have to start getting licensing and stuff. So, yeah, that's what this is. One second
Right,
here.
I know the 49cc rule. I really was under the impression that mopeds were usually smaller displacement.
Yeah, no, sometimes they are. But that's what this one is, this 49 cc's.
Cool.
So they proved extremely popular, and it was produced from 1946 to 1988.
Wow.
Yes. So, and they even made one with an automatic clutch in 1959. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And so far, nobody's ever set a land speed record with a Solex. And there's a...
To clarify, the vehicle known as Solex, not
Yes.
with a Solex carburetor.
Yes.
But this also has a Solex carburetor.
Yes, it does. So the original top speed of the Solex is 22 miles per hour, which is actually pretty good. But this one was in 1955, so it qualified in the vintage class, which would be equivalent of like Tri-5s and like Model A's and stuff.
I love that it was
And-
driven by a friction wheel, too.
Yep, and so this one is a vintage class under 50cc moped, forced induction. Puts it in a very unique class where you can set a land speed record with something you can actually build. So this is modified vintage blown with gasoline. So blown being forced induction.
Yep.
Because you put a supercharger on it, a tiny itty bitty little supercharger. So the first record that was set was 30.866 miles per hour.
That was the one he had to beat.
That was the one that he set. That
Oh,
was the
okay.
first one that he set. I guess there had been one, but I'm not sure. And then he did another run for modified partial streamlined vintage blown gas, which was 26.655 miles per hour. So he set two records.
So he wasn't streamlined before with the 30-mile-an-hour run?
Yeah, because if you look at the 30 mile an hour run, he does have the streamlined front end on it. He doesn't have the front fairing. Let's scroll down. Down. Keep going down. That one right there.
Oh,
No
okay.
fairing. Scroll down again. Front fairing.
Okay.
Yep. So yeah, the 30.866 miles per hour, and then he added a fairing to become a partial streamliner, and then he set 26.655.
So it went slower with the fairing.
No idea why. Yep.
Did he take off the supercharger?
No, he kept the supercharger on. But yeah, it was very strange. So then he came back without the streamlining with quote unquote fuel in the tank, which is non-gasoline, and
Weird.
set another set another record for modified vintage blown fuel. So he set three records. The third one was
Okay.
29.782 on not gasoline.
Not gasoline, got it.
Yes. So,
There's so many different freaking classes.
they cut these classes down so small into like every individual little thing. But yeah, he came home with 3 class records, and he's to keep coming back, and his goal is to hit 40. I can't get enough of this.
I
That's
guess
incredible.
If you're allowed to change the diameter of the wheel that drives the front wheel via friction.
Yeah.
That's like one of those
A
old...
front wheel drive moped.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's hilarious. This is a wacky moped.
This is the weirdest episode of Flying Indian I've ever seen.
Yeah, this guy really found just like the most specific class, and he's like, cool, nobody's in this one, I'm gonna take it.
That's the people that go troll 3D Mark, and they're like, oh, I can do that. I've got a 40-year-old CPU, and I can pair it with a brand new graphics card. Let's do it. Let's get the world record.
Yeah, world record for fastest computer with it Intel 8008.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did you get an RTX 4090? In fact, 2 of them on an 8008.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I wanted the record, so.
That's exactly what this guy did.
Well, I enjoy his 8008 4090 record.
that
on
is
his
incredible.
Front-wheel drive, friction drive moped. All right. Talking about friction and things relating to motion in a forward vector, you've heard of headlight wipers, right?
Yes.
Do you
I
think
love
that
headlight
those are the
wipers.
most obscure wiping system on a car?
Nope. I know the weirder one.
What is the weirder one?
The weirdest one is front quarter window wipers
Ooh.
that were made for the Nissan Gloria in the 80s, so you could see your side mirrors in the snow.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, that's cute. I think
It's a
Without-
good safety start
Yeah,
issue.
also without having to brush off your window. It's just a
Oh,
little tiny wiper that would go on the side, and then the rest of the window was just heated.
I think the more wipers, the better.
Yeah, no,
Give me one on my rear window. Give me one on my front windows. Give
Side
some
windows.
on my mirrors.
I like the side
Give
Give
window
some
one.
on the sunroof. On the side windows.
Sunroof wiper.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
fog
Jen.
light wipers.
Fog light.
I want the
yeah.
360-degree spinny boy like you have on E30s.
License
on my
plate
fog
wiper.
lights.
There you
yeah,
go.
license plate.
License plate wiper. Well, anyway, Hyundai has given us a new type of wiper that you haven't even mentioned.
What?
Which is a front camera wiper.
Incredible.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
I want to
the-
see how this works.
Exactly.
Actually. That
So
sounds really cool.
the lens actually rotates and the wiper is static.
Oh.
As far as I
that's
can
fucking
understand,
cool.
it's really
Understand.
neat. It's really cool.
I love that.
I like
know.
that.
Look at this little motor that drives the assembly around so the wiper can stay static. This is a really good idea, though, because
Yeah.
obscured cameras are a big
Really,
problem,
really bad.
especially when they deal with safety systems like
Yeah.
auto brake.
That's really cool. Yeah, because Subaru just turns it off and beeps at you.
Right. And the
So, which
Model
is
S will just say
awesome
unavailable.
when you're test driving a car with a person who's mad that their Jaguar doesn't have any traction in the middle of winter, and you take them out in a fully loaded Outback, and they're like, "This is great," and it starts screaming at you incessantly while you're driving.
Subaru safety aids are the most annoying.
Yep, and it's screaming at you because a little bit of snow from the roof slid down over the windshield and is now obscuring the eyesight cameras.
Yeah, I had to drive my Professor Subaru once, and I have to say, like, love the car, but the safety features drove me nuts. And then
Yeah,
I
I
told
had
Ryan, these safety
Legacy.
features drove me nuts. And he goes, you can turn them all off. And I was like, good.
But they turn them all back on next time you start the car.
That is true, but the thing is, credit where it's due.
you can't shut
Subaru,
them off.
they have individual buttons for every, and it's a physical button. It's not a
Not
you have to
in
go
the
through.
Legacy I was in. It was in the nav menus.
Oh, that's bad.
It was hateful.
It used to be individual buttons.
That's fine.
There's 1,000 buttons
Yeah,
on
that's-
the inside. It was great.
Oh yeah, talking like the old Rinspeed steering wheels.
Oh no, they were all over the dashboard.
Perfect.
It was like somebody sneezed on the dashboard. You seen like gauges in like old British cars, or just put them wherever the fuck they felt like.
That's
Well,
what I
we
want.
have some room here, so
Yeah.
I want buttons and I want wipers.
Yes.
There needs to be as many as possible.
Yep.
I'm all about that. Just like I am with miniature over-wiped electronics. Even the diagram's adorable.
Yeah, I'm really.
I'm
I'm gonna
about
get that
this.
tattooed.
I want a radar wiper blade for my car because
Yeah.
the camera is heated
Now you
on
can
the
have
Model
that.
S, but I know.
Now you can do that.
Well,
you
I've got the E30 headlight wiper kits. I could just repurpose that.
I
Right?
was saying that you could just go find one of these that's been crashed.
Well, I need it for my radar though, not for the camera. The
Yeah, but,
Model S is
this
heated.
just goes onto the lens.
The radar doesn't have a lens.
Oh.
It's just the aperture in the lower grill, and it gets plugged with all ice. Anyway, I'm not sure what's happening down there. That looks fun.
Oh, that's Bizzarini.
But anyway,
Italian.
look at this little motor.
I'm excited.
It's so
that's
adorable.
Good. I'm
I
happy to
love
hear
it.
about
I'm
that.
about this little camera wiper. More wiper blades, please.
Well, I
Bless you.
have another piece of good EV news.
Excellent.
Chinese EVs are coming to Europe in a big freaking way. And
More
this
than
is,
just MG.
so I had to bring this up because I just wanted to find it to talk about because this is also on Marketplace. And once it gets on Marketplace, you know it's a big deal. Because that's when they start talking about macroeconomic changes. But
Ain't
this-
it grand?
yeah, but no, the thing is, yeah, Chinese EVs are coming to Europe, and a lot of people are concerned about European EV manufacturers because Europeans have really strong labor unions, and they can't just fire people. And so, yeah, they have all these legacy employees that are like waiting for them to retire because they can't just fire them. Yeah, it's pretty brilliant, actually. I'm okay with that. But the thing is, you could repurpose these people into doing other positions. Because even though an EV doesn't require an engine assembler, you could easily have an engine assembler move on to putting together electronics or something, or putting together interior bits.
There's a lot of mechanical components in an EV still.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can make them do. And a lot of the engine stuff you could do with robots. And I think with the Chinese cars coming, that the Europeans are going to need to really step up their game to have efficiencies in their manufacturing process so more people can get cars. Also, these Chinese EVs are going to be a hell of a lot cheaper. Mm-hmm. And these are going to be cars for your normal layman, which
Are you
doesn't
saying the
care.
Europeans are going to have to innovate?
Yes. And I think that more importantly, these are not going to be your like BMW drivers. These are going to be your Peugeot drivers. So I think the only people that really need to be concerned are Dacia, Skoda, BMW Group as a whole, really.
They should be concerned.
Yeah,
for
they should
many
always
reasons.
be concerned.
Good God.
At all times. They've never made a good product.
Well,
And then, no, I objectively love the Mark II, and I still say it's a terrible vehicle.
oh, I thought you were talking BMW Group.
No, it's a VW Group.
Oh, sorry.
no,
yes,
I love.
correct.
There's several Volkswagens I love. They're all bad.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
They've never made a good car. My favorite,
I think you might be right.
including Porsche.
Oh yeah. Oh,
I will throw
100%.
Porsche in there too.
100%, yeah.
And I'll tell you, even my favorite Porsche is not a good car. My favorite Porsche is a 356, and it is terrible. And I want it
late.
to be terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, this is gonna be like your Wuling not Sunshine. Your Wuling Minis. The Wuling Sunshine is great, and you should look it up. It's
Wuling
not.
Sunshine.
Yeah, it's not an EV, but it's one of.
Rolling Sunshine. Oh my goodness! Look at this little van.
It's a 5 to 8 seater minivan.
Look at this happy little man.
It's in Forza. Actually, that's a photo from Forza.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing. Look at his happy little 5-spoke wheel covers.
I got this in Forza, and I'm happy to tell you I've never modified it. I enjoy it in its purest form.
Good on you for not restomodding this thing.
Yeah, nope.
Yeah.
I take this out and I go set rivals like time attack times with it. They're not good, but I just enjoy it. It's an enjoyable vehicle.
I go on the sim rig sometimes just to have a good time.
Yeah, it's just an enjoyable vehicle. Yeah, Wulings. They also go for millions of dollars in the auction house in Forza because everybody wants them because they're great. How could you not want that? But anyway,
I love that like one of the rarest cars for some reason in that game is just a little
a Wuling Sunshine. It's called a Sunshine. Like it's great.
How can you not?
But yeah, no, like Wuling Minis, stuff like BYDs, Neos, those are the things that are gonna be coming over, and particularly Wuling makes your kind of just normal person car. Mm-hmm. And yeah, bring those outside of China. Everybody should be able to experience that.
I agree.
Because more people need that. You need more competition. That's why I'm not mad about VinFast existing. Like, you need more competition. You need a bottom as much as you need a top. For every parlor burger, you need to have a Burger King.
Yeah. You need perspective.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is that not all these Chinese vehicles are going to be good. There's going to be a lot of shit, and I hope there is.
Yeah.
If
you can't appreciate the good without the truly awful.
yeah, no, imagine wanting a car and not having a Proton.
Pacific Rimmers. Oh my god.
Yeah, I've just had to think about the worst possible Pacific Rim car. I'm like, ooh, Proton. as a
Protons
whole.
are pretty terrible.
They've never made a good car. They made one good car. It's called Proton Saga, and it was 100% made by Mitsubishi. It was a rebadged Mitsubishi with a Giugiaro body, designed a body, and they had nothing to do with anything on the car except for actually put the pieces together. And even that, they kind of fucked it up.
I was gonna say the only Proton I knew about was like the Top Gear tested one, like Satrium maybe or whatever.
Yeah, that was the terrible one.
Suspension, but
Everything else
was
is terrible.
Trash.
Yeah. So yeah, no, Proton actually made one good car, and it was still not that good.
Poor Proton.
But yeah, no,
tried their best.
More people, yeah. Bring all the weird little electric cars, make it good. I'm happy.
And it will drive innovation for the litmus cars, the actual good ones.
You know, yeah, like I'm just thinking about like America was at its peak with cars in the 50s. Mm-hmm. And that was because you didn't just have the big three. You had Studebaker. You had all sorts of weird shit going on. Yeah. You had home-brewed sports cars in people's garages. They got like schematics from like Popular Mechanics from. You had Crosley.
Well, those all came later, I suppose. Yeah, but yeah, I get what you mean.
No, yeah, like Crosley came out in the 40s, and like you had Playboy. There's all sorts of stupid cars.
Yeah, the boutique kind of faded away for decades after that. I mean, the Bricklin was because companies like that.
They actually they successfully made it illegal to make a bad car. Like, you could not just like make a piece of shit in the United States. It became like prohibitively expensive to do that. If you actually look up a Playboy hardtop convertible, this is a prime example of what we lost. This is what they took from you.
Playboy hardtop convertible.
They took this from you.
They took this from me.
You could have had this. Look how good that is.
Open image in new tab.
Look how pure that is.
Oh my god.
I love that.
It looks
so
upside
much.
down.
Yeah.
Look at how you can see all of the frame underneath the bodywork.
That entire
Except for that little
exhaust.
piece that they cut down there.
Oh my
The
god.
entire exhaust is showing. Yeah. Like, they took that from me. You could have had that.
I don't want that.
No, but you could have.
Well, I understand.
You could have had
They
that.
took away my choice.
Yeah. You had the choice to have that.
My car, my choice.
Yeah, that's an adorable little car, actually. I really... If they weren't hideously expensive for what they are, I'd kind of want one. But they're very expensive, and they're
It's a
not
very
good.
early hardtop convertible, I will say, but it does kind of just look like a Nash.
Yeah, it kind of does look like a Nash. It's true.
Can I?
It's actually part of why they went out of business.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna rebody a Nash and then call it a Playboy.
Do it.
And
They had
then
a
get
great
sued
logo
and
as
then-
well.
Yeah, the logo I saw was a top hat and some gloves.
Yeah, it's... Look up Playboy Cars logo.
It's so funny.
That's a really good logo.
Playboy motor cars with a top hat, a baton,
A cane.
Oh, sorry.
And driving gloves.
driving gloves, Buffalo, NY.
Yep.
Wow.
I took this from you. Maybe that should be the title of this
I was
episode.
just gonna say, I'm like, they took this from you.
This is what they took from you.
They took this from you. All right.
Cool. I think we're going to end on... No, I want to end on a good thing that I'm happy about, because I don't want to end on a sad thing that you can't get a Playboy anymore.
Okay. What do you got?
Oh, here we go. Here's a good thing. I got a spare washer fluid bottle holder for the Buick.
Very nice.
So, 1961 Buick washer fluid bottle holder. Washer fluid refill bottle holder. Sorry.
Washer, fluid. What was it?
Yeah, fluid refill bottle. All right, just use that. Click enter. See that little
Oh, the
bracket?
stamped okay, yeah.
So, they sell whole things now. I don't need the bottle though. That's good to know. So if I can ever, I can replace it. But I had to get a spare one for Jana's overflow tank for the Buick.
Okay.
Guess what
And it
I'm
arrived.
using as my overflow tank?
A bottle from a liquid beverage.
It's not a beverage.
No. I would be concerned if you drank it. It's an olive oil bottle.
Oh.
It's
oh,
actually
okay.
really
Fancy.
cool looking. Yeah, it's her favorite olive oil.
Yeah.
So I had a spare bottle, so I took the logo off it and cleaned the inside
dig it.
out. And yeah,
Because it was like, I
and it
could
fits
use liquor
perfectly in
bottles,
that.
which in which I don't drink liquor.
Right.
It's not very representative of me, but olive oil.
and it's a really pretty green bottle.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just
I
a
love
good bottle.
dude,
Yeah.
olive oil. If they're glass, olive oil bottles always.
Yeah,
look
it's
great.
a really good, and so it happens to fit in that holder perfectly.
Way better than all my other options. Ryan was like, "Here, you can have my awesome bottle collection.
I have like
Take
all
anything
these
you
like
want."
really interesting glass bottles for
And
the
I was
specific
like,
purpose
"Can I
of
have
putting
my
old cars.
olive oil?" And he's like, "I mean, I guess." And then it ended up being the one that fits the best, anyway.
Yeah,
Get
I
that
take the
nice,
logos
like,
off and
snap
everything.
in.
Yeah.
Oh no, it goes in perfectly. So yeah, it's $15 on eBay, and it was totally worth it.
Oh, yeah.
It was really cool. So I'm really happy to. And there's a little block off plate right on the front, like you know where the headlights are. They have that little block off between the headlights and the rest of the
Yeah,
engine
yeah,
bay.
behind it, yep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put 2 screws in there from the factory. They were supposed to be self-tapping screws.
Thanks, Jam.
Yeah.
We really did the Lord's work.
But I'm gonna match up the factory screws. So if you really got into it, it just looked like a factory placed item.
It's a concourse item, actually.
Yes.
I know, right? But no, it's like when, because I hate like Restomodding, to go back to our first thing.
Oh my god.
Because I hate that so much. I'm not putting in like some like I'm better than you washer fluid reservoir.
Okay.
I'm looking up like how would you feasibly make a washer fluid reservoir in 1961? I'm like, all right, glass bottle, obviously.
Yeah, as I mean, plastics work shit.
Yeah,
Like,
they weren't
will
gonna
not
work.
handle.
Yeah,
engine
they
bay
absolutely will not
temperatures.
work. And I'm like, okay, well, they had no safety standards, so they're not gonna like make a custom bottle to like. What they would do is they'd take an existing thing and be like, okay, for the state of California with your air conditioner, our cars tend to boil over, so we need to make a washer fluid or a not washer fluid, a
Puke
coolant
tank.
overflow tank.
Yeah.
So we are going to do that, and I'm like, perfect. It worked perfectly.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
very
Why
excited.
wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Glass is very resistant to
It sounds
temperature change.
great. So
It's probably made by Pyrex.
Actually, it might be.
If it was
I'll double check,
a temperature
actually.
component, it may have been.
Yeah, it's entirely plausible. It could have been a Pyrex piece. I
Yeah,
still have the original one. It would tell me if it said Pyrex on the bottom.
Oh,
so I'll
what
look.
is it? The special glass is called non-sodium carbonate or something. I will look it up and I will report back.
Okay.
There you go.
Because it's a special type of glass that Pyrex no longer uses
Oh.
because of some funky stuff.
Oh, probably some environmental concerns.
I
Yes.
think more
In
like
production, it
lead.
has
No, it was. No, it was. It's actually the reason why you can't put them in the microwave because the glass was too smooth, and when you boil water in it, we put it in the microwave.
That's a different problem.
Oh, yeah, it
so
won't
I
nucleate.
think the reason why
Okay, never mind.
the reason why it's not the borosilicate, I think is what it's called. Again, I'll look at the term and get back to you.
That sounds right.
But,
Boron, yeah.
But the reason why it is lost, the recipe is lost to time, kind of like Roman concrete, because of the company got bought out by.
Oh,
or-
Pyrex did?
Oh yeah, Pyrex is not the Pyrex you think of.
Is it owned by Kraft Foods?
Something. There's been some ownership changes with like Corningware. They either bought Corningware or Corningware bought them.
Oh, it's correct.
Oh wow, this is
Yeah,
a really
it's-
great photo.
There's a lot of interesting history with Pyrex. But
This is
again,
not Pyrex related, but 1 second.
That's right. Pyrex isn't car related necessarily until we find out.
Yes, if the borosilicate, because I'm pretty sure it's borosilicate. Now that I'm.
Welcome to our notes, everyone.
Click. That's a good ad. It's new. It's terrific.
The Playboy. Playboy features.
Found out just now, Playboy magazine is actually named after the car.
That's so cool. All right.
Wow.
And on
There you
that
go.
bombshell.
There's your bombshell. Bye-bye.
Bye.